just tell me kind of what your first Cortaca experience was like.
Yeah, it was it was different, you know. Being a freshman, I was really only on special teams, and I was a second string for all of them, so I didn't really get to play all that much. But just watching the atmosphere and the environment, I mean, I remember it was snowing, and it was really, really cold. It was really cold that year, but the environment is different, man. It's just everyone, it means so much more. I mean, it really feels like it's the biggest little game in America. So it was just a completely different atmosphere than what I had ever experienced.
Yeah, and I wonder too, you know, you talk about, you know, going from playing the game in Cortland, obviously, you know, there's a ton of fans and the atmosphere, like you mentioned, is insane. But then you go, and then your sophomore year, it's at a professional football stadium at MetLife. What was that like, going from playing at a small Division III school to then playing in an NFL stadium?
I mean, it was like, unfortunately I was injured for that game, so I only got to bear witness, but even bearing witness to it, it was amazing. I mean, seeing that there was just so many people, and it was really like, I know a lot of people just went just for the experience, but there's also a lot of people that care about us as a team, that care about Cortland as a team, and it means a lot to them. So just seeing the whole thing filled, it was just like freshman year amplified by 5. It was just a next level of loudness, you know, cheering, and it was crazy. It was amazing. It was a crazy experience. I can't really describe it into one word except crazy.
After that year, the next year, there was no Cortaca. And then, you know, kind of going into this year, there's a lot built up to this game because, like I said, you had that year off, and then you had, you know, you're coming from playing the game in an NFL stadium, then you have a year off, and now finally you get that crack at it. What are the emotions like as you head into this week?
We've been saying for a long time on our team, you know, just unload the clip, just let it all go, just let it all out, and that's how we feel. We've been waiting for this moment for so long, and honestly, when it's Cortland, it doesn't really matter where we face them. You know, we can face them here, we can face them there, we can face them in a parking lot. Like we're gonna bring the noise, we're gonna bring that energy. So it really doesn't matter what the environment is. It's just a lot of built up, you know, just anticipation, energy, and we're just ready to go out there and play. Like we're not trying to.
Like those dogs.
This is it's Coco's.
Hi. Wow, we have a special guest visitor.
Special guest.
I love it.
Via Coco. Bye, Coco.
That's the energy you guys are coming
yeah,
with today.
Right there. Exactly. You know, mad dogs.
Yeah.
Barking.
Yeah.
That's us right there in a nutshell.
But, I love it.
Yeah, it's just, you know, again, it doesn't matter where we face them, but we've just been waiting for this for so long. We've put so much work in. I mean, throughout the spring season, and just like having to stay focused. We've lost a bunch of people on the way to our journey, so it's like the people that are here now, like these are the people who really, really, you know, they would die for this shit. So it's just amazing to see like how everyone has came together and just like the chemistry that we've built just because of everything that we've been through.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it too has to do with the way that you guys have played this year. I mean, you guys are right now ranked what, 18th in the country?
18th, I believe, yeah.
I mean, and at one point you were as high as 11th. So I mean, it's not only is this game against Cortland, like we talk about every year, it doesn't matter where you're playing or when you're playing, that rivalry is going to shine through anyway. But now, like, I mean, this game really matters if you guys want to keep playing. So what has that been like, kind of trying to, you know, not only deal with the emotions of playing in a Cortaca Jug, but also, you know, dealing with the fact that like this game could make or break your season as well?
Yeah. So that's a great question, because we're kind of trying to take the same approach that we took versus Union. You know, we knew Union was a must-win game. You know, we lose, we're not going to make the playoffs. So that we just went all out. We went so much harder. And the reason I feel like our team's different this year and why we're so resilient is because we really play for one another. Like, we really love each other. And I think that's different than the years prior. So the approach to this game, you know, I would say it's the same as Union, but it's really the same as any other game. You know, no moment's too big for us. We're going to play anywhere it is. It doesn't matter how many people are in the stands. There could be nobody in the stands because we've played on that as well. But it's really just, you know, just doing your job. That's all we have to do, you know what I mean? We're a great team, but no one has to do anything extraordinary for us to win this game. We know we can win this game, and we're focused on the task at hand, and it's just everyone just doing their 1/11th, and that's why I love this team so much, because everyone's bought into this whole system. Like, we're not defined by one player, we're an entire team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that makes sense, and I wonder if you could kind of elaborate, like, what was it about, what's different about the culture this year that kind of made that mindset more possible?
What's different about the culture this year is that we just have a bunch of veteran players who have been through it, and they know exactly what it takes, to reach that next level. We've gone 8-3 the past, 4 seasons, so we want to change that. We really wanted to come differently this year. So it was really the leaders of our program bringing everyone else up and getting them to buy into what we're trying to do here. Because, when I think about being a Bomber, I think about being in history, being a part of history and being able to reflect and look back with my friends down the road. And I think that when everyone can buy into the fact that we're a team, that they know that their time will come to when they're on the field making a bunch of plays. But the reason we're so great is because we got guys on scout, we got freshmen, we got sophomores, we got juniors, we got people that give us real looks, and they always bring it every day in practice, and they help us get better through that. So it's just, every time we win, it's not just the people that are on the field, it's all those people that are on the practice field giving us the best looks to put us in the position to win. So I think that's what makes us different this year, is the fact that everyone on the team is so invested into winning.
That's awesome. Yeah. And kind of to finish out here, what is something that you are maybe, is there maybe a specific moment that you can think of from either your first Cortaca Jug or maybe even being on the sidelines at MetLife that kind of, is kind of etched in your brain that you can think of that is like, okay, now I'm here, I'm playing in a Cortaca Jug right now. And what about, is there another moment now that you get to be on the field more? What's something that you're most looking forward to? It's probably a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, I didn't really play freshman year. I didn't actually get to touch the field. Sophomore year, I was hurt in that game, so that also sucked. So I guess what I'm looking forward to is just, seeing these dudes that we saw back in JV. I mean, they're still the same team from JV. So the fact that we already have, we know them. We know them, and it's been. Look at us now. We're 3 years down the road, and here we are again. So I'm just looking forward to seeing those dudes again and facing them and seeing how much better we've gotten, and seeing how much better they've gotten, because we're looking for competition. I mean, we're not looking to just demolish teams. I mean, we will if we have to, but we're really looking for competition. So I'm just looking forward to going out there and competing. And something that I've always really looked, I've looked into a lot from a Cortaca experience moment would be like Kyrie just taking that ball away from that receiver at MetLife. That was awesome, man. I mean, I love that guy, and I really look up to him as a player and what he's done. So just seeing him do that, I knew how hard he worked for a moment like that, and just seeing, a defensive back make a play like that, that's something that's really stayed with me and been able to inspire me. So, once we get to Cortaca, once we sit down in Cortland, I'm not going to try to do too much. I'm not going to try to, get outside of my box, but I will be going all out for my guys. I will be going all out for my dudes. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, just playing as hard as I possibly can.
Absolutely. And, last question, we talk about the difference in not only the fans being there, but the noise is, a different atmosphere. Even when you're playing in Cortland or Butterfield Stadium, what kind of things do you guys do to prepare to experience that? Because, for maybe freshmen or people who haven't played in a game like that before, it's hard to really put it into words and imagine it until you get there.
So some things that we've just really honed in on is using hand signals, because, sometimes you can't hear. And honestly, the noise, I feel like it plays more into the defense than it does the offense. They have a clap signal. So I don't know how they're going to work with that when it's so loud. And for us, it's just really using hand signals and just knowing what to do a step before. If a guy motions over, knowing what the coverage switch is and just being aware. And we have amazing safeties. I mean, they're so in tune with the game. They always have it situated. So it's just, just thinking a step ahead and being in tune with the game plan. I know that offense sometimes will try to make noise in the sideline for themselves when they're doing scout, and that's always great. We always make noise when we go against them in 2 minutes or something like that. So we definitely, practice for it. But I mean, we've played in a lot of loud games. So it's really just it's just noise. You just got to block out the noise and do your job.
Absolutely. And kind of to finish out here, I obviously, not being a football player, just being a fan, you like to think, fans do this for all teams, you like to think that you contributed to the game somehow when your team wins. So when you guys win, I want to be able to say that I contributed somehow to the win. So I'm going to give you my breakfast of champions here. because we talk about how breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
It is.
So
it really is.
I think that in order for you guys to win a Cortaca Jug, you got to make sure you have a good breakfast. So I brought you a box of Frosted Flakes.
Oh my God,
This is
you're
for
the best.
you and the boys.
Thank you.
I know you guys probably eat healthier than I do, no sugar, but
Bro, you'd be surprised.
champions, I mean,
This right here, you know, Bombers by 30.
right.
Because for this right
so
here.
now when the Bombers win, I can say I sort of
Bro,
contributed
you definitely did.
to the Cortaca Jug
Definitely
win. Hey Cap, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thank
This
you.
was a blast. I really appreciate it.
This was awesome. Thank you too.